Hello everyone, we're gonna do a overview video for the astrological transits of the rest of 2018. We're gonna touch a little bit on the Mercury Retrograde that just occurred that ended on December 6th through Sagittarius and Scorpio. We're gonna touch on some moon phases. And just the energetic switches and shifts that have been going on through Sagittarius mostly, and we're going to move into Capricorn season and where the other planets lie and what that sort of means for the energies in store for the rest of the year. Here we go. So I'll start off by talking about the Mercury retrograde that just occurred. It happened November 16th is when it went retrograde, and it ended on December 6th. And when I say it went retrograde, I mean the planet looks like it goes backwards in position of the Earth. So I'm gonna enter in a small video diagram of what it looks like of its pathway. And the squiggle line is what it means to sort of go into, back, and forward again. So you'll kind of get an idea of what I mean by retrograde here. And when that squiggle line happens, that's kind of the idea when I say other planets go retrograde as well. So not just Mercury, it applies to others as well. But Mercury retrograde of November 16th to December 6th, Mercury rules the mind, communications, technology, exchange of information, communication. So retrogrades are all about taking 2 steps back before taking a leap forward. So in terms of the mind and communication, we review how we think, we review how we speak to each other, we, check ourselves before we wreck ourselves in the communication era. And Mercury retrogrades more often than other planets, 4 times or 3 to 4 times a year. So in a way, we get to check ourselves in our communications more often, because I think it's very relevant. And this is a very ample timing because right before this happened, Jupiter entered Sagittarius. So there was a very large influx of Sagittarius energy when Mercury went retrograde in Sagittarius. So any sort of rash decision making or sharp tongue energy, those things were under review or being brought up just for us to learn. And there's a time period December 2nd through December 11th. I'm going to throw a lot of dates at you, so maybe write them down. I'm also going to put them in the description box below, so maybe they're easier to decipher when they're written out. December 2nd to December 11th. When it was in retrograde, it entered back into Scorpio, and it touched on specific energies or specific degrees that it had already gone over the week of Halloween. So things that went on the week of Halloween might have resurfaced the week of December 2nd through December 11th. But also, I feel this time is significant because within my own life, it manifested for me as a December 6th on the new moon. I enrolled in a seminar course called Next Level Trainings. Shout out people watching, to sort of dive into the mind and how to change how you speak to yourself, literally, and how you speak to others, and how you manifest things in your life, and how that can make very tangible shifts, and you make it work in your favor. And and in a way, that is very Scorpio energy to me, which Mercury was in Scorpio during that time, diving into the very depths of the mind and drawing out any toxins that exist, which is the nature of Scorpio. So it's kind of a cool little thing right there. December 6th, when it came out of retrograde, December 6th, it went direct, still in Scorpio. It was like doing the direct, so it leaps forward, very, very action-oriented when Mercury is direct, but still within Scorpio. It started pulling out of the psyche all those negative things that were really holding me back. Or it started to, kind of cavity work. And there's a lot of reference around the weekend to scaling your teeth, scaling the gums. My cats are chasing each other. So I guess, long story short, with the Mercury retrograde from November 16th, kind of all the way up until this past weekend, December 6th through December 11th, we were drawing out all the little toxins of the mind that get in the way, and learning how to process them and detoxify and deal with them. Obviously, it's not a one and done situation, but it gives us the tools to work with it, navigate it a lot easier and better, and create more from it. So now, Mercury is out of retrograde. Today is 12/12. Today on December 12th, Mercury enters back into Sagittarius, out of that scorpionic pulling toxin energy, into more adventurous spirit again, where we were when it went retrograde. The sun is there in Sagittarius season. Jupiter has been in Sagittarius since the beginning of November, and Jupiter expands. The sun is sort of the general vibe right now. So we have this big, expansive mental energy right now to work with. Vision boarding, manifesting, speaking dreams, speaking into existence is very possible and important and just in alignment right now. Do so. I encourage it. When the sun moves into Capricorn on Solstice, we might see more of like a concrete manifestation energy rather than this dreamy, I wouldn't even say dreamy, but very expansive energy right now. I just feel a very inspired energy right now. I didn't say Venus, so I'll just kind of go down the list a little bit. A lot of shifting. I'll actually put my little board right here, see if you can see this, and maybe pause it, and hopefully it'll give you a little bit of a thing. This is my whiteboard. So you can pause it right here and just listen. So it says Venus in Scorpio, and it's been in Scorpio. It did a little dance. It had its own retrograde, October through November. So Venus is direct, and it's coming back into Scorpio. So it's kind of in a tender place, sorting through a lot of personal things right now, but there's a lot of a nice gold mine of, because we're sort of at the end of sort of that inner work with the Venus retrograde and whatnot, pulling out gems of the inner child has been kind of a theme of that, and how that presents itself in relationships and how in resonance with other people. You can resonate better with others or more in a flow, or when you are in alignment with your inner child. If that's not stifled, it's a lot easier. Venus is about relationships in all forms. So we're still in sort of a tender place there, but it's a very magical place to be. Scorpio rules magic and the occult arts. So open to magic. Mars is in Pisces. It's been in Pisces for a second. We'll stay in Pisces until December 31st. Venus moves into Sagittarius January 7th, so into 2019. But Mars switches into Aries January 1st. December 31st, January 1st. And this is what really where I think I'm getting the term dreamy. Sagittarius isn't really dreamy. It is adventurous and philosophizing, but not really dreamy. Pisces is dreamy. Mars is our action, our drive, our ambition, our physical body. And that being in such a lucid, dreamy, visionary, but wishy-washy sign, that's why I also say vision boarding, drawing and manifestation work, speaking into existence, because that drive, that ambition, that like pushing an agenda isn't really in alignment. Pisces more so allows to happen, or like things start to gravitate towards each other. So but that won't last for very long, because that's only until the beginning of 2019. So that's why we have a window right now where that speaking into existence can align into this sort of let it happen energy that Mars is in for the rest of the year. Obviously not staying idle or not making anything happen, because we are perfecting our vision, speaking it into existence. You know, learning, researching. We're not staying silent. We're not staying idle. So that's very different. Like letting things happen. Like, so I think you're kind of understanding where I'm going with this. But Mars shifts into Aries the beginning of 2019. That drive, that ambition starts to, your own ideas, your own methods of execution start to matter a little more then. So hold on to that. And going down the line of that, the last true shift lining up in the beginning of January would be Uranus. Uranus has been doing this dance between Taurus and Aries. It's in retrograde, so it's moved back into Aries. And these are the outer planets, so they're doing it for a longer period of time. Uranus went retrograde in August, So it's been retrograde for a minute. It's in Aries, and it's going to stop being in retrograde January 6th. It's going to still be in Aries, but it's just going to stop being in retrograde. It's going to go direct. So we're going to feel that lurch forward again with that sort of energy. And your Aries, Uranus is like this radical identity. So really feeling that your identity, how you identify, however that may be, or who you identify with, or what you identify with, being a part of yourself, not just a concept or something that exists outside of you. It becomes more prevalent, I think, around January 6th. And then the next day, Venus moves into Sagittarius, joins Mercury, joins Jupiter. So a lot more expansive, adventurous energy there. Sagittarius is a fire sign, Aries is a fire sign. So that beginning of January, and Mars being in Aries too, wow. So the beginning of January has a lot of fire that we can use to our advantage with this time period now, visioning, getting that vision concrete, really put into the sphere. Then we can really see that coming down into reality. Especially when the sun moves into Capricorn on December 21st. It's not quite the new year, but it's solstice moving into Capricorn, and Capricorn is that sort of solid foundation energy. So we can start seeing those things manifest in the physical reality at that point, I think. And slightly just touching on the moon phases, the new moon in Sagittarius occurred December 6th, which is relatively recently. So we're moving into a new phase. So this dreaming, that still vision boarding Sagittarius, speak into existence, manifestation energy currently. And then the sun moves into Capricorn December 21st. The next day, the 22nd of December, we have a full moon in Cancer. So the sort of, and full moons are like completions or manifestation, full light, full manifestation of the question, the situation. So again, manifestation in terms of Capricorn, the next day, manifestation, full moon energy. So we're still seeing this theme of right now 12/12 up until solstice vision boarding, speak into existence, get that vision clear. And then once that shift into solstice, into Capricorn, physical, grounded energy, grounded down, really see how it's working, really see how it's playing out. And the next day, full moon energy fashion, things do manifest with full moons. So we might see manifestations occur within that window. So not just the 21st, but then the 22nd, after the day after. Look for all possibilities are endless, open. So keep it all open. And then the new moon in Capricorn is on January 5th. So that shift into fire of Aries, January 6th, shift into Venus and Sagittarius, January 7th. January 5th, right before that happens, new moon in Capricorn. That grounded, solid foundation energy in terms of a new cycle. So we're going to see at that point, January 5th, of how these visions are really starting to play out in the course of our like life timeline, starting in the beginning of January 5th. And then we just get that self-fire energy the day afterwards and the day after that to back it up, to carry that vision forward again with a new cycle in a lunar fashion. So yeah, I think that overview was pretty thorough, but hopefully not confusing. Again, all the written stuff is going to be in the description box below, so feel free to just dissect it all. But your visions are valid, and the field is open, the door is open. Yes. All right, so thank you so much for watching. If you want to support me on Patreon, just follow the link in the description box. Just $1 a month gains future access to these videos early. I'm going to keep these videos public on YouTube, but earlier content and other art content, and the higher up tiers you can get art shipped to your door from me, custom art. So check that out, and also all my other art and readings and custom bookings, things like that are on funkyfaeart.com. F-A-E is how I spell Fae. www.funkyfaeart.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.